Okay, let's talk about nutrition. It's confusing, right? One day coffee is a superfood, the next it's going to kill you. Fats are bad for you. Oh, wait, no. Now some fats are essential. It can feel impossible to keep up, but you know what? It really doesn't have to be that complicated. In this explainer, we are going to cut right through all that noise. We're going back to basics, breaking down the science of what you eat from the ground up. Ready? Let's dive in.
So here's the game plan for our journey today. First, we're going to follow a bite of food on its trip through your body's incredible processing factory. Then we'll get to know the big three: carbs, fats, and protein. After that, we'll meet the specialist crew. We're talking vitamins, minerals, and your gut. Then we'll look at what happens when things kind of go off the rails, and we'll finish up with a super simple, powerful strategy you can start using, like, today.
All right, so to really get a grip on nutrition, it helps to start with one simple but really powerful idea. Let's think of your body as a high-tech food processing factory. Yeah, seriously, just picture it. Your body is the most advanced food processing plant in the world. You feed it raw materials, your food, and it has this amazing assembly line that takes everything, breaks it all down, sorts it out, and turns it into energy, building blocks, and all the tools it needs to keep the whole operation running like clockwork.
So what does this assembly line actually look like? Well, the first stop is your mouth and stomach. That's where the initial breakdown happens, both mechanical and chemical. From there, the food mush heads down to the small intestine. Think of this as the main factory floor. It's where enzymes just go to town, chopping everything up into its tiniest possible parts. Then these nutrients get absorbed into your bloodstream through millions of these little finger-like things called villi. And the final stop on the tour? The liver. This is your factory's quality control department. The big boss that decides, okay, this gets used now, this gets stored for later, and that gets kicked out.
Okay, so now we know how the factory works. Let's talk about the what. What are the main raw materials this whole place is designed to run on? Well, that brings us to the macronutrients. First up, we've got carbohydrates. Now, I want you to think of carbs as the main, fast-burning fuel for your factory. It's the high-octane stuff. When you eat them, your body breaks them down into glucose. And that glucose is what fuels your cells. It's the primary energy source for pretty much everything, especially for your brain.
But here's the thing, and this is super important: not all carbs are created equal. You've got simple carbs, think sugar, white flour. These are like throwing a piece of paper on a fire. Whoosh, you get this massive, fast burst of energy, and then, just as quickly, it's gone. That's the crash. On the other hand, you've got complex carbs from things like whole grains and veggies. These are like putting a big, dense log on the fire. They burn slow and steady, giving you sustained energy to keep your factory running smoothly all day.
All right, next up, fats. Now, for decades, fats got such a bad rap, didn't they? But the truth is, they are absolutely essential. I mean, you literally can't live without them. Fats are critical for making hormones, they help you absorb key vitamins, they protect your organs, and get this, they're the most energy-dense fuel source you can possibly find. And just like carbs, fats aren't all the same. They exist on a spectrum. On the good end, you've got your unsaturated fats. Think avocados, nuts, olive oil. Awesome stuff. Then, kind of in the middle, you have saturated fats from things like butter and red meat. These are totally fine in moderation. But then you get to the bad end, and I mean really bad. We're talking artificial trans fats. These are the ones lurking in a lot of fried foods and baked goods. These aren't just unhelpful, they actively damage the machinery in your factory. You want to avoid these like the plague. And that brings us to our third macro, protein. If carbs and fats are the fuel for the factory, then protein is the construction crew. It's the team of builders, engineers, and mechanics. See, protein is made of these things called amino acids, and they are the literal building blocks for your entire body. They build and repair everything: muscles, organs, even your hair and nails. Seriously, without a good, steady supply of protein, the whole factory just starts to crumble. Okay, so we've got our fuel sources and we've got our building materials, but for the whole system to actually work together, the factory needs a team of highly skilled specialists.
And those specialists, they're the micronutrients, your vitamins and minerals. Now you don't need huge amounts of them, but they are absolutely critical. Think of them as the specialized toolkit for the factory: the tiny wrenches, the specific lubricants, the catalysts that make thousands of essential chemical reactions possible. Everything from turning food into energy to keeping your immune system firing on all cylinders, that's them. They are truly the unsung heroes of the whole operation.
And speaking of specialists, there's another crew we absolutely have to talk about: your gut microbiome. And just get ready for this number: 38 trillion. That's how many microorganisms are living in your gut right now. To put that in perspective, you have more of them in you than you have human cells in your entire body. Isn't that wild? This massive internal ecosystem is like a whole other city of workers. They help you digest food, they create certain vitamins for you, and they even talk to your brain. Keeping this massive crew happy is, without a doubt, a cornerstone of good health.
So, we've established that we have this absolutely incredible factory, right? It's perfectly designed to turn food into life. But in our modern world, with our modern food, things can start to go wrong. Let's dig into how that happens. I mean, when it's all working right, the process is just beautiful. It's elegant and incredibly efficient. But our modern diet and lifestyle, they can really throw a wrench in the works. So what actually happens? What goes wrong when the system gets totally overwhelmed or starts getting the wrong raw materials?
Well, at the most basic level, the whole point of eating is to create energy, right? And the energy from our food gets converted into this one special molecule called ATP. You can just think of ATP as the universal energy currency for your cells. It's the little battery pack that powers literally everything you do. Blinking, breathing, thinking, moving, it's all powered by ATP. But here's the catch. A bad diet starts to gum up the works. It actually damages the factory's machinery. And this damage tends to happen in three main ways. First, there's chronic inflammation. That's like a low-grade fire alarm that is always going off inside you. Second, you have oxidation. This is basically your cells rusting from the inside out. And third, there's glycation. This is when excess sugar in your system literally starts to caramelize your cells, making them sticky and dysfunctional. A good diet keeps all this damage to a minimum, but a poor one, well, it puts the whole process into overdrive. Okay, I know that all sounds a little intense, a little scary even, but here's the good news. The solution does not have to be complicated. So let's get to our final section and figure out a simple strategy to start working with our biology instead of against it.
And here is the core problem, the absolute heart of the issue. It's the modern food environment. See, ultra-processed foods are not just food. They are scientifically engineered products designed to be irresistible. They are built to hijack your brain's reward systems, to mess with the very hormones, like insulin, that are supposed to be regulating the whole factory. And the result? You're driven to eat more and more, and your body is signaled to store all that excess energy. So what on earth are we supposed to do about it? Well, here is a simple 4-step strategy to fight back. Number 1, prioritize protein. It makes you feel full, and it helps you build and keep that precious muscle. Number 2, focus on fiber and whole foods. We're talking fruits, vegetables. This feeds that gut we talked about and keeps your energy levels stable. Number 3, get rid of artificial trans fats and seed oils. Just cut them out. And number 4, this is the big one. Do everything you can to limit ultra-processed foods. Honestly, this one step solves so many of the other problems all at once.
I know that's a lot to take in, but really it all boils down to one simple idea. Eat real food. Eat the stuff your factory was actually designed to process. A really good rule of thumb is, would my great-grandmother recognize this as food? If the answer is yes, you're probably on the right track. So look, don't try to change everything all at once. That never works. Instead, I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. What is the one ultra-processed thing you could take out of your diet starting today?